All right, so we have this function f of x is equal to, in parentheses here, x minus 3 quantity squared. Okay, and what we want to do here is we want to find the intervals where this function is increasing or decreasing or constant. Okay. Now we don't have the graph here, right? So it'd probably be better to have the graph. So we can graph this. Okay. Now we know that this is a parabola, right? It's a U shape. Let's think about that. Okay, we're going to have a nice little U shape here. Okay. And what this minus 3 does is it's going to shift this graph 3 units to the right. Okay, so we're going to have our nice little U. Okay. This is x squared, which goes through the origin 0, 0. But this graph is going to be shifted 3 units to the right. So we're going to look a little something like this. Okay. And that'll be where our vertex is, right? At 3, 0. Now, with the graph, right, we should be able to answer this question, right? So remember what it means for a function to be increasing. It means as we move left to right, so as we move left to right, we're just going to trace the graph, right? So as we move left to right, we're going to trace the graph, but then to be increasing means the y values are getting larger. To be decreasing means the y values are getting smaller. And to be constant means that the y values are not changing at all. So let's start at the very left, right? You know, this arrow means we keep going up, right? So as we follow this graph, as we move left to right, remember, it doesn't mean we're going this way, right? This is right to left. Okay, so we don't want to do that. But as we move left to right, notice what is happening here to these y values. Okay, so as we move left to right, these y values keep getting smaller and smaller. They keep getting smaller and smaller until we reach this point, right? We reach the vertex of this parabola. So that means this function is decreasing, right? So where is it decreasing from? What is the starting point where it starts to decrease? Remember, this arrow means it keeps going up, right? So that should be negative infinity. So as we go from negative infinity and then we come all the way down, we keep going, y values keep getting smaller until we reach this point, right? That is a point 3. Okay. Now notice what happens as we start getting larger again, right? From this point, as we move left to right, so as we follow the graph, notice what is happening to the y values here. The y values are getting larger. That means the function is increasing from 3, infinity. Okay. To be constant means as we move left to right, the y values are not changing at all. They're not getting smaller, they're not getting larger. Okay. Essentially, we should see a horizontal line on the graph. That would be where the graph is constant. Okay. So in this case, there is none. So here, this function is decreasing from negative infinity to 3, and then increasing from 3 to infinity.